Guys, it is another beautiful day out here in Spokane and the perfect time to reintroduce you to Fugly Miles, quite possibly the world's ugliest $4,000 Crown Vic based fake trophy truck. And also probably the only one. Now, most of you guys are familiar with this truck, but in case you're not, let me give you a little summary on how it was created. So this build started off by me wanting to showcase how strong and versatile the Crown Vic chassis is by turning one into an off-road vehicle. Now, a bunch of people have made off-road Crown Vics, but I wanted to make one that was much lighter, so I had to scrap the body, and then I didn't want it to be so front heavy, so I had to make it a mid-engine configuration. So the idea was move the engine back 36 inches and then use a fiberglass trophy truck body. It started off okay, the engine went back just fine, the fiberglass was all right to about right here, and then I realized with my seats so far to the outside, it made the fiberglass keep moving out farther and farther. So I scrapped the rear fiberglass except for the fender there, and then decided to make a steel construction so that I could add 3 seats to the rear. Now, the vehicle itself turned out okay. It is quite fast and it is tons of fun, and it has 5 seats. The problem was it is hideous. I should have cut my losses a number of times along the way, but I didn't. I just kept doubling down, and this is what we ended up with. Now, since you guys have seen it last, I have made a few modifications. You may notice the window netting on the rear and then the extra steel right here. That was all added on after. Let me show you what the other side's looking like. Alright, so this is the look that you guys are probably more familiar with, the comically large windows that are larger than the doors that everybody and their mother complained about. I will say getting in and out is super easy and the visibility is nice, but it will be a lot safer to have a little extra steel right there, and then put some window nettings on this side as well, just to help in the event of a rollover. Now, the only other thing that I've done to this, since you guys have seen it last, was I addressed the soft suspension by changing out all 8 coils on this. It currently has 500 pounds on the bottom for the front, 400 pounds on the top, and then in the rear I have 300 pound springs on the bottom and then 200 pounds on top. And the reason I've got this truck out today is to test that new suspension. Now, to show you guys what I've got planned, I've got this, a little Hot Wheels version of my truck. Let me go show you. So over here on the property, I've got a nice little jump set up, and if you guys know anything about off-roading, you will know that this is a terribly shaped jump. Basically, the idea is I will hit the jump, fly through the air looking super heroic, and then land over here testing out the suspension. The problem with the shape of this jump is that when I hit it, it is almost certainly going to send the front end up super high, buck the rear end down, landing me nose heavy, bam-o, right about there. That's probably what's going to happen. What I should have is a nice long ramp that goes up and up and up and then has an abrupt drop off so that I can then fly through the air looking cool as can be, and then a landing ramp where I can come down with the front just a split second before the rear, making a nice smooth landing. But that's not what we have. My backhoe is currently not running, and it is going to take more than a little bit of time to get this whole area set up for a proper jump. So in the meantime, this is what we've got to test the suspension. So this is what we're going to use. So let's get to it. Alright guys, let's back up this clip for a second because there's actually a lot we can learn from. So you see right here as I hit the jump, we have got full compression on the front suspension, which is good to see, and then right there we've got full rebound. We do have just a little bit of bounce on the front tires, but nothing too bad. And then we've got full compression right here on our rear tires, and then right there we've got full rebound, so we can see the full travel, which is not bad. And we also know that under full compression we're not having any issues with anything rubbing right there. And then of course, because of the poorly shaped jump, bam, we've got a nice little stab into the ground where our front bumper is maybe an inch from impacting. So if I would have gone just a little bit faster, I would have stuck it into the ground, but luckily I did not. And then right here, where we've got full rebound on the front suspension, luckily we don't have the tires actually lifting up off the ground. You can see they're floating a little bit, but they are not lifting up, which is fantastic. That tells us the front suspension is not too stiff. And then again, the rear suspension, we're at full compression right here. And then when it goes to full rebound, again, it floats on the ground a little bit, but it does not lift off, which is fantastic. So overall, I'm quite happy with the suspension. Now I did do one more run where I set the camera up just a little bit closer to see if I can get a better shot of that suspension in action. So here you go. Now can we stop for a second and realize just how ridiculous it is that this vehicle started off as a $375 salvaged Crown Victoria. Alright guys, so I just looked at the footage, and in the footage it looked like I was super nose down, and it looked quite painful actually, like it wasn't comfortable inside the truck. It was actually super smooth, no issues. I was expecting the bump stops to be totally grenaded, because if you guys remember when I last took it out in Arizona, I kept damaging the bump stops, but they're both holding up. Let me show you. So there's the bump stop on this side, and then over here the bump stop on this side. They're both holding up. Now, the next thing that I've got planned for this truck is to address those bump stops, because although they made it through this jump, they are not going to make it through too many more, especially if I keep beating it up like that. So let me show you what I've got planned. Alright guys, here's the next upgrade for Fugly Miles, a set of Stinger bump stops made by Daystar. Now these are basically a poor man's hydraulic bump stop, which is perfect for the budget nature of this build. And I don't have everything I need to install these today, so I'll dig a little deeper into how they work and how they get installed on the truck in a future episode. But I wanted to give you a little preview now because I got so many comments on my truck when people would see it in the background of my pizza truck video. So a lot of people thought that I had sold it. Obviously I haven't. I've still got it, still running great, still getting minor upgrades here and there. After I install these hydraulic bump stops, I plan on taking it to a local off-road park and seeing if we can jump it farther and higher than we did today. So until next time, take care.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.